and our final round of speeches. Dilhan's groomsman, Vero, to say a few words about, well, Dilhan and Mary. What else?
Hi everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Vero and I'm a good friend of Dilhan's. Actually, Dilhan was one of my first buddies in year 7 and back then in high school. He liked cars, he liked music, and he went on to become a huge Harry Potter fan. Many years later, when he first told me about a lovely lady at his work, a fellow economist at the Reserve Bank of Australia, one of the first things Dilhan quite proudly told me was that Mary had read the entire Harry Potter collection 7 times. And she had in fact out-potted him because she had even read it in French. So when I started thinking about this speech today, my first idea was to make it like a novel, and I'd call it Harry Potter and the Economist's Wedding. It was to be in the style of the Wizardry of Hogwarts, where Dilhan and Mary get whisked away to the Chamber of Secrets. But then I thought, I've known Dilhan for 17 years, and when you've known someone for that long, there are a lot of stories to tell. Truth be told, I couldn't see Dilhan as an economist in the early years. Even though he did know a thing or two about supply and demand and the fair value of goods. I still remember year 7, where there was a schoolyard card trading game we both played called Magic. Now this game was quite popular at our school, so Dilhan had a deck of these cards, and one day he offered to sell his deck to me for $40. I agreed, we shook on it, and I thought I'd got myself a good deal. How wrong I was. First thing next morning, the school principal called an assembly and informed students there'd been an unfortunate incident. So this card game was now banned. Any student caught with cards would risk expulsion. So straight away, demand for these cards plummeted, and the deck Dilhan had sold to me for $40, that deck became worthless. After the assembly, I turned to face Dilhan, and he was just grinning from ear to ear with this look in his eyes that said, "Winner!" Anyway, our friendship overcame that obstacle. And the more we got to know each other, the better the friends we became. And our friendship continued on into university, where Dilhan found himself becoming quite popular. He had a whole group of followers who created the Dilhan Society with its own membership cards. And there are still some card-carrying Dilhan Society members in this hall today. But Dilhan always shied away from this pomp. He was always very humble and down to earth. The years rolled on, and in 2015 we both found ourselves working in Canberra when Dilhan started working at the Australian Treasury. He also started playing in the local Canberra cricket competition, and I decided to go to one of his games. It was a bright sunny day, so I put on a red baseball cap long before Donald Trump made it a fashion statement, and I turned up to this game. Dilhan was fielding and he was diving around, showing some great athleticism. Now, Dilhan and I were born just a few months apart, so we were in the same age bracket and had played a lot of sport against each other in high school. So I secretly hoped that I'd be called up as a substitute fielder if one of his teammates was tired or injured. But when his teammates saw me watching, instead of seeing me as a potential substitute, one of them went up to him, pointed at me and said, "Dilhan, see that man in a red cap? Is that your dad?" I didn't know what to say when I heard that. But now I do. Dilhan, you played well, son. You played well. So let me finish this speech by saying that ever since I first got to know Dilhan, he's always been a true gentleman. He's always been very generous with his time and wisdom, and he's always been very loyal and trustworthy. And going back to that day when he first told me about the lovely lady at work called Mary, ever since that day, and with Mary's influence, Dilhan has learned to live and speak from the heart, and he has become more bold, forthcoming, and grown in confidence to become the man he is today. So if this story was a Harry Potter novel that I was writing, then of course Dilhan and Mary would go on to live happily ever after. So please join me in this toast. Please raise your glass and join me in this toast to the happy couple. May you both share a wonderful lifetime together. To Mary and Dilhan.